Hey, everybody, welcome to another movie talk with myself, Joe Mayo, along with Tim Allen, along with Tom Hunyadi, who's back here. He's missed a few shows. I'm glad you're able to make it with us, Tom, tonight. So that means that Tom, who likes to go to the movies, has a lot of shows that he's got to talk to us about, and I'm looking forward to hearing about. So I want to wait for enough people to come before we really get into the more meat and potatoes topics. So I'm thinking maybe I could start off by discussing some movies that I already put videos up of, but because it won't be as fresh to some people who watch me. But we're waiting for more people to show for the later stuff. So anyway, well, that was Christmas. By the way, I got this shirt. My girlfriend bought me among other gifts. Just one more thing. That's Columbo. You can't, so it's. I haven't watched too much Columbo though over the holidays. I've been watching them. I mean, still enjoying them. I can't remember what the last thing I was talking about was. I know I mentioned the Leonard Nimoy episode that I really like, but there's some good ones I've been watching lately. I think the next one up is the Dick Van Dyke one, or it's going to be one of the next ones coming up, which a lot of people talk about. So I'm looking forward to seeing Dick Van Dyke be a dick. So if that's what it is, he's supposed to be the villain, I think. So first we got Patrick Sweden giving a wave, and James Farley, hello.
Hello.
James Gracia and Matchstick Man. Those are our commenters thus far. B. Letty as well. All right. So anyway, Christmas. All right. I don't know if you guys have you watched any Christmas movies, anything worth talking about for now that Christmas is over.
I'll talk about a couple. I watched a couple.
Oh, okay. I'm going to save the best for last, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go first for I saw White Christmas. It's not my first time. I'm just going to go through a brief
Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas
about it.
movie.
This is my girlfriend's copy. I bought it for her as a gift because she loves it. It's a Blu-ray. And what happened was in, I think it was 2006, I had gotten really in the Christmas spirit more than usual that year, I remember. And I said, I'm going to watch all kinds of Christmas movies. And I saw Four Christmases, which I remember sucked, in my opinion. And then I saw another one. Geez, I think Danny DeVito was in it, but I can't remember. It was about they were competing who had the best Christmas lights. I didn't think that was so good either. I can't remember the name of that. This is in 2006. And I went to the store, and I saw this on the rack. It wasn't this one. It was, I don't have the famous picture with them all standing there with their suits on, their red suits, and their beautiful little caps, and all like hugging each other. Isn't it Christmassy? Isn't it sweet? And I said, boy, I'm going to see this. And I like Bing Crosby singing and so forth. So I said, I'm going to do this in 2006. And I saw it, and I thought, I can't say it sucked because it didn't, people, myself included, got to watch extremes. Tend to do that, Oh, that sucked. Oh, that was great. No. It was a good, decent enough movie. If I was in the mood for a musical that wasn't, I knew it was going to be a musical. I just thought it was going to be a Christmas musical. At the beginning of the movie, you got the army barracks. They're singing. They're all depressed. The troops, they're miserable. They're sitting there in World War II. And Bing sings White Christmas right at the beginning. Blows it right at the beginning. And, not the best atmosphere, seeing ruins and messed up buildings and just dirty soldiers that are miserable. It just didn't give me a Christmas vibe too much. And then, of course, later on, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, they wound up getting together with sisters Rosemary Clooney and Vera Allen. I like Rosemary Clooney. She looks pretty good in that black dress in one scene that I like. Some corny numbers by today's standards, right? Some snow. Not going to see me singing snow anytime soon because I hate snow.
I actually like the sisters song that they do.
That's another one. There's one, their main number. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I like that.
Who stands between my man? Is that?
Yeah.
Help the one that stands between me and
yeah.
It's good. They do it twice. And there's one time where you got Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby doing it. They have to sing it, which is like, but anyway, It's not so much that I had a problem with the movie. It's just that it's not Christmassy to me. It's not Christmas. And then at the end, then they do Christmas at the end.
Yeah, it ends at Christmas. It's a movie that ends at Christmas.
To me, Die Hard is more of a Christmas movie than White Christmas is a Christmas movie.
Well, interesting, because I saw Die Hard in the movie theater. Never saw it again when it was new. But the other day, when I was away vacationing in Maine for Christmas, at times they would have the TV on in the back where we're all sitting down. So you can't really watch the movie. It's just on. And I was just watching. There was nothing Christmassy about the damn movie. It's a freaking movie that takes place
at Christmas. It's not a Christmas.
It's not a Christmas movie, in my opinion, or Bruce Willis's opinion either. I heard.
No. Well, when he still had an opinion, no.
Oh, God.
It's like saying Rambo. The first Rambo movie is a Christmas movie because in one scene you see a Christmas tree in the back in the office, in the police station.
Somebody asked me that. Somebody said, "Is Rambo a Christmas movie?" And I thought for a minute. I said, "You mean First Blood?"
Yeah.
There's
a shot of a Christmas tree, in the back of the police station.
So but I've seen it enough. I don't want to see it anymore. Life's short now for me. I don't want to see it anymore.
I've already forgotten. I watched it in the last 2 weeks. White Christmas is a remake of another Bing Crosby movie, it's not Going My Way, is it? It's the movie that introduced White Christmas, and White Christmas is a remake of that movie, and I watched that movie for the first time. I've already forgotten what it is, but that movie was way better than way better than a White Christmas is.
I don't know if I've seen Holiday Inn.
In chat will know the name of the movie.
Not Holiday Inn.
I forgot. It is Holiday Inn. It's Holiday Inn.
Oh, you got
White Christmas is a remake of Holiday Inn, and it's
all right.
Holiday Inn is a much better movie in my opinion.
All right, so I'd rather try that one out then, but whatever. So so that was that, and I didn't hate it. I just think it's not a Christmas movie to me. Then you got what's the other? I'll get to that later. Then I watched for the first time Jingle All the Way. Okay. Now, let me get something straight here. I know before going in, Jingle All the Way is going to be a stupid, nonsensical, fun, crazy movie. I knew what the premise was. It was about Arnold Schwarzenegger as a father trying to get a toy, the Turbo Man toy, for his son. And he's doing it on Christmas Eve shopping. And same thing with Sinbad playing a mailman who is trying to score the same gift, and there's none left, of course. This was a marketing take, right, on what was going on with the Cabbage Patch Kids. I remember there were all kinds of these, maybe Power Rangers as well. There were these things you got to get the hot toy and you can't get it. I thought it was a great idea that he put that into a movie for Christmas. Now, did I find the movie a classic? No. Did I find the movie a good movie? Well, not really, but it was a fun, for me, Christmas romp, light thing to have a good time with, and so I enjoyed it in that spirit, So did either of you ever see that one, Jingle All the Way? No, I get a kick out on Schwarzenegger doing comedy, even though he also did Twins, he did Kindergarten Cop, he did Junior, I think it was, but I just get a kick out of him, like trying to be crazy and and as they're fighting for the toy, Sinbad the mailman spraying his dog spray in Schwarzenegger's eyes. I just thought that was hilarious. I'm a Three Stooges guy. What can I tell you? So that was that. Then let's talk about our other one, okay? That Tim and I are waiting to discuss. That is, I'm going to build it up a little bit because, it's a Christmas Story, and Mikey Arugula loves to push movies on me. Like he was the one that tried to push A Star Is Born on me. The later 54. One, 70s one. No, not the 70s one, the newest one. Who was in it again?
That was Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Lady Gaga. He wanted to. I said I'm not, and he kept pushing it on me. I didn't want to see it. He was also pushing this on me. You haven't seen A Christmas Story. Oh, you got to see A Christmas Story. Now, the whole thing with A Christmas Story for me was that I knew about it, and every year it runs on a loop on TV around the clock. So I seen the scenes, some of the scenes of the kid getting his tongue stuck on the pole when he tries to lick the pole in the ice and everything. And, the whole thing about the BB gun, taking eye out and all the, I saw some scenes of it. But this time I figured, you know what, since it is Christmas and he is asking me to see it, maybe I should see it because it's on a loop. Now I saw it with the commercials. I don't recommend that. I don't like, I think movies even lose something if you watch them with commercials, but I put it on. I thought it was okay. I'll be done in a minute. I know I'm crazy here, getting excited about it. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was a classic. I didn't think it was anything great. And then Tim said has an opinion that I want.
Well, I don't think it's like the greatest movie ever, but you were going off about how this couldn't happen and this couldn't, and I'm just like, it's the unreliable narrator thing. The narrator is talking about what he was thinking about when he was 9 years old,
right?
And
I got that.
And so Santa Claus kicking him down the ramp, that's a 9-year-old. Santa didn't do that. You're not supposed to believe that Santa did that. You're supposed to see this is the whole thing is from this kid's perspective, and that changes it quite a bit.
Well, you were saying, you said, I don't think you understood, or you misunderstood.
Well, that's what I don't think you understood, that it's narrated. I realize the guy is grown up when he's narrating it now, but he's thinking back to when he was 9, and this is what he thought.
Exactly right, Tim.
When he was 9. Right.
Yeah, I think in that movie the way it comes across is that he really did throw someone, and it was mostly the elves doing it anyway. It wasn't.
If you haven't seen it, see the problem. That's a movie where you should know as little as possible going in, and it's impossible.
It's not a great movie, even if it's a fun Christmas thing. It's not a great movie.
And my other complaint was that you said it didn't look like the 1940s. I think it looked like the 1940s. You're thinking of Hollywood 1940s, where everybody's glamorous and stuff. If a woman had frizzy hair in the 40s, she had frizzy hair in the 40s. There wasn't much she could do about it. And many, many women walked around in the 1940s with hair just like she had, because they couldn't do anything with it, because they didn't have the money, and you couldn't go to the hair salon. It's just the way it was. So I think it's fairly realistic for a comedy. I think they did a good job.
Well, all I could say about that is, with the woman, to me, she looked like a 1983 woman to me, but that's nothing. I just mentioned it to have some of the things to talk about. That's not the big bad thing for me. I just thought it was okay. I heard it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, that movie.
And the 1940s were also a much more innocent time than now. And I think most 9-year-old boys in the 1940s still did believe in Santa Claus. And good for them.
Well, maybe.
I think it was probably about 12 when they didn't in the 1940s. And good for them. They're lucky.
Well, it feels like the 50s to me, but it's okay. And it's 1940, I think.
The 40s. It's happening in the 40s.
No, I'm saying it feels like 1950 to me. It doesn't seem like it. I know it's supposed to happen in the 40s, but specifically, I think it's even worse, 1940. Not like 48 or not something. 49.
No, I think it's the late 40s, but I didn't watch it this year, so I haven't seen it.
And I know I may sound like I'm taking it too seriously and everything, but the bottom line is, for me, it was my opinion only, of course. Well, not only, because there's other people split on it. If you look at the comments, they're all split. If you look at IMDb, there's other people feel the same way. But the thing is, I think the biggest problem I have with was expectation. They're making it sound like it's freaking, like I think of a good example, like Wizard of Oz or something, like Gone with the Wind. It's like and this is, I never remember hearing about it in 83 myself.
It failed. It failed when it was originally released. As did It's a Wonderful Life.
I know.
As did probably most Christmas movies. They fail when they first come out, and they get rediscovered later
on TV. Yeah.
And what about the dysfunctional nature of the dad? A lot of this I picked up on IMDb negative comments. I was looking for like negative people like me with it to see what they thought. Darren McGavin, I don't know, the leg lamp and all that jazz.
I just think it's funny. I mean, I love when Ralphie touches it. And he's like, oh, I love that. That's like funny.
I mean, if you ever had a moment where you wanted something for Christmas so bad and you got it, I mean, that's like, I mean, the biggest thing, especially between the ages of 5 and 11, 12, I think that's like one of the greatest moments of your life. And a lot of people can relate to that, wanting something so bad.
Well, wait a second, Tom. Wait a second. I can relate to that, and you probably didn't see my review, but I said that. Everybody knows what it's like. I said to want something really bad. That part I don't. BB gun, that's another story. But nevertheless, I know what it's like. I wanted many things very bad as a boy on Christmas.
Well, listen.
I know what it's like.
For many, many decades, the Western was the most popular genre of film. Okay, so and especially in the 40s. So wanting a kid wanting a BB gun, I don't think is out of the ordinary.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, the bottom line is people are trying to tell me, and people said in the comments too, you don't know what it's like to really want something. I do. I get that point of it, and I did. I could name a whole bunch of things I wanted really bad as a kid. So I get that. That's got nothing to do with it. But just so you know, realists don't get. Well, that's another thing. Then there'll be other examples. This happens in movie talk. That people will say, "Well, how come this one you liked? This wasn't realistic." And I'll say, "Well, it doesn't have to be realistic. It's your imagination or the way your memory, blows it up or something." In another movie, I may agree with that. I don't know why. Do you ever find that with movies? I don't like you just have one thing that as a rule that works for you.
Everybody doesn't like the same things. That goes with everything.
No, but I'm saying, this business that sometimes people do. I've mentioned this before. Where I had a friend once, he showed me some Western, I didn't like it. He goes, "Oh, you don't like Westerns? That's fine." I said, "Oh, hold on a minute. I didn't like your Western." Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there might be other movies just like that where they use the principle where somebody remembers being a child, and because it's from that perspective, it's blown up out of proportion, and for some reason, it sits better with me. I don't know why.
Right.
It's not like one size fits all the time from movie to movie. We contradict ourselves a lot, I think, sometimes.
There's a lot of movies that I know that are terrible, but because I just have fond childhood memories of them, I enjoy them.
Well, there's that too, and by the time that came out, I'm 21, so I'm seeing it at 62, so that's not good. For fondness. Of course, I got movies fond. Yeah, that's another thing. John C. Phillips. Now you're here. That's a good thing. Let's see, because I accidentally blocked him. I wonder if there's a way now that I know where he is. I gotta figure how to do this that I could unblock him on my other channel. How do you do that? I don't know. All right. So anyway, but I'm gonna throw this in. I haven't done a review of this yet, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Let me put it this way. This couple, when we were going away, to Maine for Christmas, this couple wanted us to go to their house with a family. Do you want to come over for a while? And I thought we were just going to go over for an hour or so and have, some drinks or just talk. Turned out they just wanted to watch a movie. So we get over there, and the guy's going down. He knows I like monster movies, horror movies. So he goes, "Did you see this one yet?" It was Godzilla, Kong, Empire. And I said, "No, I didn't." He puts it on. And that movie was around 2 hours, and I got to tell you, it was the epitome of everything that I despise in new movies. Everything, crazy CGI out of control, cartoony looking Kong and Godzilla. Because it's an American Godzilla movie. It's not the Japanese. Now Tom and I, we talked about how we both liked the Japanese Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
was it Godzilla -1?
Godzilla -1, absolutely.
Yeah, but I didn't, man. I couldn't take this one. Oh my God. And as soon as it starts, you see King Kong's lair or whatever, and there's a song playing, "Welcome to My World." Welcome to my world. And I'm like, oh geez, no. Later on, they're playing the song Twilight Zone by Golden Earring when the bullet hits the motor. This is no. And later on, they're playing I Was Made for Loving You. Kiss. I was Macy King Rock and Conquer. Hey, look, I hate it. Meanwhile, some of the other people
They
eating
didn't
it
play
up.
Welcome to the Jungle?
They should have played that. That would have been better than Welcome to My World. And I'm like, man, now the thing is too, it's one thing to be asleep when I'm watching a movie and not get it, not see it. It's another thing. I don't know if you ever had this. I'm like, my eyes are open the whole time. I'm like, I'm watching the whole thing and I haven't seen anything. I haven't paid any attention to anything. Later on, my girlfriend's telling me, "Oh yeah, well, this was because of this," and then they had to do that, and then they went to whatever it was, and I'm like, I wasn't paying attention. They lost me from the beginning. So anyway, I didn't like Godzilla Empire. So that's it for those movies. I got other ones, but I don't. Now I think it's time to pass it till we get to some other movies. Let me just see what we got here. That's a lot to talk about. Just watched the video discussing A Complete Unknown. Always enjoyed Tom's additional insight. Yeah, we just did it. Tom and I just talked about the Bob Dylan biopic,
Right.
A Complete Unknown. We put it up as a video. I'm a realist. I don't get movies that everybody likes. It's subjective. Oh, definitely subjective opinions. That's what they are. Yeah, I don't know how to unblock. I'm trying to figure out how I could unblock you. There must be a way for me to do it. But I think I could figure it out while you're here. But I think what I'm going to do is try to accomplish that. I don't know how. Well, I'll let somebody else talk, and then I'm going to listen too at the same time. But I'm going to be working on that. Okay, so what do you guys can go next? Decide who would like to go next.
All right.
Anybody?
Sure. I'll show a couple. I know I haven't been on for a while, so I'll show 3 movies that I picked up recently that I know I didn't shown the last time. But one from the year of my birth, directed by Peter Bogdanovich that I like, and that's Paper Moon, released by the greatest genre of all genres, Criterion Collection. Yeah, I know Tim gets a chuckle out of that. But this with his daughter Tatum O'Neal, who was the youngest um, uh, actor or actress, whatever you want to call it, at the time to win an Academy Award or a competing Academy Award. She won Best Supporting Actress at 9 years old. Another one that I really ended up liking that I hadn't seen is called Lost in America, directed by Albert Brooks with Julie Haggerty of Airplane fame. I really, really enjoyed this one. A movie about not being happy or with your job and going out and finding yourself. But this one turned out to be really good. This one came out in '85, so I really like this one. And the movie that I've been dying to see for decades, because of the nominations and the acclaim that it gotten over a long time, but it's been stuck in copyright hell because there was a lot of popular songs in the film, and they never got the copyrights for physical media release. And I got to thank Vinegar Syndrome for releasing this, and that's Looking for Mr. Goodbar, starring Diane Keaton, who plays a woman who was very, jealous, or she idolized her older sister, played by Tuesday Weld, who lived this, crazy sexual, um, uh, free lifestyle, and she followed suit, and it's kind of like dual life. By day she was a dedicated school teacher, and by night she was out having one night stands and meeting dangerous people too. I mean, this is based off a real life story of a woman that was killed in New York in the '70s at some point. But actually was so into it that I actually want to get the book and read the book. So I'm really, really happy that I finally got to see this movie, and thanks to Vinegar Syndrome for releasing this, and I thought it was fantastic. So definitely recommend.
Is that the only way to get that movie? That would seem like a common movie.
Well, it's because but it's because of all the music licensing that that was the main reason why it's just hasn't been released on physical media for a long time. Just kind of like the The one with Tatum O'Neal and Christy McNichol that I got earlier this year too. Was it Baby
So I
Dolls
see.
or what was the or what was
Fuck,
that?
geez, I know it too. Geez, I
You know
know
what
the
you know
name.
what
But
I'm talking about.
Little
Um,
Darlings.
Little Darlings. Thank you. Yes, that was the other one. Too, and Vinegar Syndrome put that one out too. And then as far as going to the theater, I'll just go over like the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, save the two that
Yeah,
we went into
yes,
that.
I will. I will. Um, I saw a movie called A Real Pain, which was really good. Jesse Eisenberg and one of the Culkin brothers. Gladiator 2, I saw at the theater, which was, Denzel Washington was in it. He's good in the movie, but the movie is nowhere near as good as the original Gladiator. A fun movie with Amy Adams called Night Bitch, that I really enjoyed. Um, then the strangest movie I saw this year it's called The End, and it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic musical. So take that with that as you will. Um, then I saw a movie on Christmas Eve that we talk about. The movie on Christmas Day. We'll talk about that in a second. But the movie I saw the day after Christmas Day was a movie called Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman, Antonio Banderas, and Nicole Kidman. This was kind of more like one of those erotic thrillers, kind of like in the same vein as the '80s, Crimes of Passion and stuff like that. So and that's kind of like a genre that's hasn't been around for a while, and I like those erotic thrillers. So Baby Girl was good, but the one that I saw on Christmas Eve that we talked about earlier, A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan film, which
Yeah.
Joe and I both really enjoy. The movie I saw on Christmas Day that I was a little underwhelmed with, but I did like some aspects of it was Nosferatu, the 2024 version of Nosferatu. So Joe, I guess we can talk about that if you want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
well, I wanted to. Well, even though just to have it here on the movie chat, very briefly, because if you want to see the two of us talk about A Complete Unknown, at any length, watch the video, please. But just to say here for the people just going to browse through this, I really loved the movie A Complete Unknown, best biopic that I've seen so far, I think. And I just thought Timothy Chalamet is ripe for a Academy Award, and so is Edward Norton as Pete Seeger. I like the music. I love the way that the songs they chose. I like the way the songs were incorporated different ways, different places in the movie. You didn't just have them all like on in a concert setting or something. One was in like a coffee house, underground coffee house. Another one would be on stage. Another one would be in an apartment room. Whatever, they kind of mixed it up. So that's my feelings, and I think it's very good.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Fantastic performances from Chalamet and Norton. The two main lead actresses, I mean, they were cool, they were good, but I don't think they were as great as the two male leads. But I think all in all, it's fantastic and probably in the top 5 of great best music bios of all time. You're muted, Joe.
At the train, takes a lot to laugh and a train to cry. Is that the right lyrics?
Yeah,
but anyway,
right.
So let's talk about Nosferatu a little bit.
Yeah,
you tell me how you felt about it first, I guess.
Well, I mean, excuse me. The appeal of this movie is the visuals. I think. You said it when you saw the trailer for it. I mean, it's the visual. It's visually stunning. Is what I like to say about this one. Now, whether it lives up to the 20, was it 27? Did it come out or 22? What was the exact date for the original?
1922 silent.
22, yeah, and then the 79 version with Klaus Kinski, and then now this one. The 79 I think is more true to the silent film. This one I think it's the longest of the three, I believe.
Probably.
Being almost 2.5 hours, I think it was. Um,
I think
it's
like
interesting.
210, 212 around there, but
210,
whatever.
yeah, 210. The one thing that I'll take away from it that I did find very interesting, and you touched upon it in your video, Joe, is where he's drawing the blood from in this film, and it's not the usual neck. It's coming from the chest, and then when I thought about it, to me it ended up making sense because that's where all the blood pumps from, is from the heart. So I think if you want to get the most access of blood, you're gonna go straight to the heart, which
That's
I
not
think.
where most of my blood goes.
Well, right. Well, okay. Yes,
I'm
yes. All
just
right.
kidding, just kidding.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
a
I know.
different kind of movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a different kind of movie.
a different rated version.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of people are calling this a brilliant film. A lot of people are putting this on their top 10 of films of the year, which I kind of disagree about. But I did like Nicholas Holt's character to start, but Johnny Depp's daughter, who plays the lead, she's good in some scenes, other scenes, I can do without. But um, all in all, I think it just I don't know if you feel like they have a connection, Depp's role, the daughter, Johnny Depp's daughter role, and then that the Nosferatu Orlok or whatever his name is in the film. I mean, it's I gotta see it again. I do want to see it again because I really do love Robert Eggers as a director. Really like his 3 films that he did prior to this. So I am going to give this movie another chance.
Mhm.
Um, but 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 after one viewing, I was a little underwhelmed with it.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much my feeling. First of all, I wasn't going to see it because I'm done with for the most part, with a lot of remakes and reboots. But as I was saying, I saw the trailer, I saw some shots from it, and the photography was just too gorgeous for me.
Right.
I said, no, they look like they're really getting it right. They're doing like the period 19th century. This is
Right.
really good looking movie. I want to see it for that. It's going to be taken seriously. So, I mean, I like it. So I'm good. So I saw now, no, of course, no arguments about the beauty of it, how beautifully photographed it is,
Right.
and the cinematography was some amazing shots in there. It's
Right.
worth seeing if you're into that sort of thing. If you can be really like dazzled by nice photography and scenery and stuff, it's worth seeing just for that. But I didn't like the whole bit about, it seemed like demonic possession. I felt like I was watching an Exorcist movie with Lily Rose Depp doing a lot of like contortions and her eyes rolling back in her head, like Satan's possessing her when she's sensing him. They have this bond or something. I didn't like the bond kind of thing, although there's a little of that in the silent version too, but not that to that extreme. I felt we never really got a good look at Orlok really to satisfy me. Maybe the very end scene.
And I was going to bring that up too because you don't know if they're gonna, the makeup of Nosferatu or the Orlok. You don't know if they were gonna stay true to, because the first two versions, they are pretty much, you got the same visuals of Orlok going, and the same with Shadow of the Vampire too, with Willem Dafoe playing Orlok. They're staying pretty
Willem
accurate
Dafoe
to
Willem Dafoe wasn't Orlok.
Yeah, Willem. No, not in this one. No, and that in Shadow of a Vampire.
Oh, the vampire, Shadow Vampire.
Yeah, because he was more of the Van Helsing
Right.
person, in this one. But I was not expecting what they chose to make him look like. I mean, I was never in a million years expecting to have a mustache.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have pointed out to me, but in the original novel by Bram Stoker, he has a heavy mustache, and I'm like, I get it, but that is part of this novel. But the thing is, this looked like a monster or something muscular. It didn't look like a man. It didn't look like a man. You could argue even in the silent version, but with Max Schreck as Orlok does, it looks kind of like a rat, almost a human. He's got a rat face and ears and stuff, but he still looks human. This thing, I don't know what it looked like to me. It looked like a monster or something, a demon or something. I didn't go for that. You mentioned Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe, I liked him okay in this part in Nosferatu. I thought he was convincing as the vampire expert, although he didn't really seem to know that much, really. But I think
right.
I think even Van Helsing in the original novel is kind of drawn as a bumbler or not really that swift, anyway. But yeah, I found it dull. I found it too long, and I found it dull. And what I call it for me, to sum it up, is style for me over substance.
Right. And I will agree with you. I mean, they probably could have cut a half hour from that film. You do feel a little bit of the length. I mean, some scenes were maybe a little too drawn out. But I did like the artistic approach from Eggers, and he is in a way kind of a historian. So if he is going to be portraying a film in a different time and era, he is going to do the research and just get all the scenery accurate. So I appreciate that.
And I wasn't even prepared. I totally forgot. I just got up to get it. I just remembered now that in preparation for my review, after I saw the new Nosferatu, I saw the old one. I have it on this. I don't have it on a Blu-ray. I have it on Kino, color tinted. This is the 1922 version. And I mean, the images like that still hold up to me.
Oh yeah. I did like the scenes where the curtains were blowing in, and then you saw the image of Orlok, there in the couple of those scenes.
Well, you saw like the shadow of expressive shadow and stuff. But in this movie, it's been a long time since I watched the silent one, and I enjoyed it much better than the new one personally. Even though I'm not a big silent movie guy, but some of them I do like. And with what they had to
scene. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
With what they had to work with in those days, they did an outstanding job, and I think this is scarier. I still think it holds up as a scarier movie. The scares in the new one are about you would expect. Boom, or like a noise or a startle. No. It's got to be something creepy, understated, shadows. The way he stared, this movie, the original one, he just stares in a doorway or in a window. It looks terrifying. Just nothing, no sound or nothing, just him looking at you.
Right. The one scene that I thought was a ripoff of the Coppola Dracula.
Yeah.
Is there where you see the hand shadow going over the town? I thought that was like a complete ripoff.
A lot of people said that too. Like, first of all, I never liked the Coppola Dracula, but I will take it over this easy. I liked it better than the Nosferatu. Although I'm talking about the movie itself as a story. I like the Coppola one better. This one more for the like I said, this is style and atmosphere. Put the Coppola story in with the style here. How's that sound? Although I still Coppola. What did I just say? That I don't like Dracula being a love story, which is the main reason I don't like the Coppola movie. So what did I just say? Forget I said that. Dracula is a villain. I don't want to know nothing. Right, Tim?
Sure.
I don't know. Well, that's a lot.
I saw over 40 movies at the theater this year, so I was happy with that. I'm going to start off seeing a movie later on tonight, that I haven't had a chance to see yet. So I'm going to hopefully try to get over 50 movies this year at the theater. A lot that I'm looking forward to this year. Happy New Year.
Hello, Danny. There you go. Some of the exteriors were shot in Prague.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, I still have. Are you done, Tom?
Yeah, Tim.
Before
Tim
we get
to
Tim, I'll just name a couple of other things pretty quick, because I saw. You want to say No Direction Home instead of A Complete Unknown. Because I saw A Complete Unknown, I've been getting into Dylan again. Dylan's in my head. Dylan's on my mind. And I went ahead and watched this that I have, which I've seen numerous times. I must have seen it at least half a dozen times in my life. Don't Look Back. This is the one I have. Is this on Criterion now? Because this is not Criterion.
Yeah, it's on Criterion now, yes.
And this one looked kind of grainy, too grainy, but this time. But then again, It is a documentary. This is really, to me, a great documentary. It's about Dylan's tour, I think 3 weeks, 1965, of England, in England. And it's like the end of when he was playing this acoustic by himself just before he was going to go electric, really. Right. And there's even a couple of scenes in here, Don't Look Back, where you can see Dylan's getting intrigued by like looking at electric guitars in a shop window. And he's asking questions of the people he meets about expanding to different sounds and stuff. He's getting tired of the same. I like that about it. But it's funny because I have to say this is, I consider this a great documentary, essential viewing. It's a moment in time. You also get to see Joan Baez in here. Also Alan Price from the Animals, who was apparently, did he break up with the Animals at this time?
Yeah, formerly of the Animals at that point.
Yeah, there's a little bitterness there, but it's good performances, good music. It's got things like A Hard Day's Night in a way. It's in between performances. You get performances that are good, but you also get him, fans praising him and wanting an autograph and all that kind of addressing the press. And I got to say, Dylan comes off, which he is, let's face it, an arrogant prick in here a lot. A lot of scenes in here. Okay, he really can be a jerk at times, but then again, in the new movie, they at least address that a little bit too.
Yeah, a little
just
bit.
A little bit. Yeah. He's just starting. I said you can be a real ass all the time. So somebody said to him. So yeah, but anyway, I'm a little lukewarm on it now. I've seen it just too many times, including in the theater. So I mean, I don't know why. I want to give you the impression of how I felt in general the first few times. If you suddenly see a movie that you loved and you're a little like overdosed on it, do you say it's not that good? No, you just overdosed on it. So that's that one. And the last one I'll talk about here is Secret of the Incas. And I don't know where Wes is. Secret of the Incas. There it is. Okay. I had it on my calendar. I said December 31.
Was that the Kino?
This is the slipcover, which I don't really love slipcover. I don't feel I have any need for these except when they're different.
Yes, when they're different.
This is a nice cover, so it's different, so I'll hang on to it. But the deal with this is, I'm a Charlton Heston fan, and this is a movie that was hard to see. Some people suggest that the reason this hasn't been around a lot for a long time is because supposedly they tried to stifle it because of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't think that's true. I don't know how much of it's true. It wasn't in circulation that often. So I know there's talk that Spielberg tried to suppress it. And the only similarity here, and you can't tell by this, is that really the character played by Heston wears a fedora, brown leather jacket. He's got this like bag thing like that he carries. It's much more tame. It's not riotous, swashbuckling adventure thrills. It's a lot more laid back. So this movie's just average to me. I didn't dislike it. At first I was thinking this is going to be tough. But then I wound up thinking that by the time it was over, I'm glad I saw that. That was like, it's like a better than average, but it's nothing great. And Tim, I want to also talk about, how do you pronounce the Peruvian American singer's name? Do you know how to pronounce it?
Oh, I think it's Ima Sumac.
Ima Sumac. Now, going into this, I read a little bit and I heard this is them talk. This is most of the reviewers talking. There's the excruciating scene that you could fast forward with her singing. And I said, well, let me hear how bad this is. And it was kind of rough to me, yeah. But I think I'd heard.
I like it. I have a couple CDs and some albums.
That's what we're going to get into. I was going to let you have that because I when you talked to me about it in the comments, you said that. I had no idea that she was that well known. Somebody else said the same thing, that they like her or she's popular. And what would you Exotica?
Yeah,
is that what Exotica?
Yeah,
singing?
yeah. I mean, she's as famous in Exotica as Les Baxter or God, what's his name? I can't
do it.
But yeah,
I can't do it. Oh, it's horrible. That whistling sound. And what's
that was the thing going on then. You know, in the early 50s, Exotica became, a huge thing, and
sure,
she became, pretty famous.
Didn't see the new one, but the 1922 Nosferatu was the best. Well, if you didn't see the new one, how do you know that the original one?
Yeah, how do you know? See, you can't. You need to see it.
Well, it's the best of the first two.
And I want to see that. I have the 79 one. I just haven't seen it in a long time. I want to give that another shot. I remember there being a lot of rats in that one. A lot of rats, but anyway.
It's like the new one. Yeah, there was a lot of rats in the new one too.
What's this? Happy Silver Beetles to the Big Three. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Mitchell, who was in that movie, Secret of the Incas, was in was the first Columbo in the stage play of Prescription Murder. Yeah, I didn't know that either. He's pretty good in here. The character played by Thomas Mitchell, who's in competition with Heston.
He's one of my favorite character actors. Period.
He's very good in this.
He can do no wrong, in my opinion. He's great in everything he's ever been in. It's just a terrific actor.
Well, Heston plays a real nasty guy in this, and the thing is, used to him being like Moses or Ben-Hur and a hero. He's nasty in this, but then I realized a lot of his 50s movies he's nasty in. His first film, Dark City, in 1950, he's an SOB. And then in The Big Country, he plays a bad guy in The Big Country.
Yeah.
And he plays a bad guy in a movie called Arrowhead, which is a Western with Jack Palance that I like. So
I don't think he's all that likable in Touch of Evil either.
I was about to say he plays a good guy in Touch of Evil, but
he's
not a good guy that you like.
Right.
I think of him as a goodie in that one. Well, maybe because I'm used to the other ones in the 50s.
His wife is like getting raped, and he's too busy to help. It's like, come on, how good is he?
Oh, come on, he's a hero, and he's like, what did you do with my wife? What happened to my wife? Or something's yelling at the guy.
Yeah, after the fact.
No, come on. I know what woke up for me, pal. No. Well, anyway, I like it. But I like his character in it, I guess, compared to these other ones. And he has I'm spending way too much time on this, but he has a lot of good one-liners, sarcastic one-liners, and him and the character played by Thomas Mitchell go at it a lot. They have like cutthroat sarcasm back and forth. I just want to catch up with Tim before we go to the Tim Allen side. Okay, talking about the Columbo thing. Right.
Yeah.
Are you telling me, Mr. Blood Vessel, they're at the record stores? I'll probably notice them. When I see them now, I'll be aware of them at least. I saw a Wolfman trailer in the theater. I was watching this trailer, and whatever it was, I had no interest in it. And at the end, it said The Wolfman. I said, no, I doubt it, man. I doubt it. I didn't mind the other one. They did The Wolfman 2010. It wasn't that bad. I just don't like a lot of the new monster things.
What about Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
I saw that as well. It didn't really, I don't remember much about it. I saw it when it came out. It had to be like 93 or 4, 5.
Something like that.
Yeah, 20 years ago. 30 years. I got 94, 30 years ago. Wow, I can't even remember. Great score in the Herzog version. That's the 79 Nosferatu. 25th is represented by silver, and all three of you are Beatles fans. Okay. Have you seen The Spirit of St. Louis with James Stewart? Not me, I don't think.
No, I missed that one.
I might have. I think I did, but I honestly don't remember it. It was a long time ago.
I saw Teen Wolf in the theater too. That's 1985. Was that 40 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
It's one of those kids movies that I liked back in the day, but can't stand now.
Tom Hyndai. Did you like the new Wicked movie? Did you see the Wicked movie? I didn't see it.
No, there was a new Wicked movie.
All right, now finally, we spent a lot of time. Now we got to get Tim into the action with his views and things.
Okay, before I start showing what I got and talking about what I saw, I want to go back to the Dylan film that you just showed, which I always forget, the P.A. Pennymaker film.
Right.
I wish that they could have done to the Beatles 64 film what Scorsese did to that film to make his No Direction Home film, because that was an amazing film. And the Beatles film just was same idea, but no. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, I don't remember those.
Scorsese was involved, but he should have been more involved because,
well, it's
the
been
more
a while
I think about that movie, the less I like it. So, anyway, if you haven't seen No Direction Home, that's worth seeing.
Well, I'm trying to say I've seen it a long time ago when it first was out, but I don't really remember. Again, I don't remember anything. I have to see it again.
That's really, I think he did an excellent job.
If you like Bob Dylan, you'll like it. But if you don't like Bob Dylan, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Don't watch it, Doc.
But that's that's an important thing.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. An important thing that we didn't mention here when we talked about A Complete Unknown, and we didn't mention it, and we did our video together discussion, and that is, I hope this film will appeal to younger people that don't know Dylan, people that don't like Dylan usually. I think they can still enjoy the movie. I think it's still a good story, and it's a good movie. And I think if you're open-minded, Doc, I'm talking to you, Doc, because if anything, Timothée Chalamet, who does the singing, although he's trying to do Dylan, sounds a little better than Dylan in my feeling. Right. But so I would say see it.
It's made 31 million so far, and that's just domestically. There's no international box office receipts just yet, but 31 for that, that's not bad. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, can I go? I'm going to start out with just 3 Blu-rays I found. Blu-rays at my thrift store are $1 now. They keep changing everything now, which is great because Blu-rays for $1. So I picked this up, Rocket Man and Almost Famous.
Oh,
yeah, I'll take Still Almost sealed. Famous. I have no desire to see Rocket Man.
I haven't seen it, but just to get Almost Famous on Blu-ray, still sealed for $1. I picked that up. This I have very little interest in this. I know it's going to be terrible, but again, still sealed for $1. Godzilla versus Kong.
Mention that. You know what? I have that, and I've never had the desire to put it on yet. I got it for like $3.
But sealed for $1. How could I not buy it?
That. You can't beat that.
Well, as long as you're going to watch it.
And not sealed, but for $1. The Star Wars trilogy on Blu-ray and DVD for $1.
For $1.
So,
can't beat that either.
Can't be. I didn't have it on Blu-ray, so now I have it on Blu-ray. So that's all I found in the last 2 weeks or however long it's been. And I haven't watched. I'll start talking about. I watched a couple of Christmas movies. Somebody, I can't remember if it was in this or Doc stream. Somebody's stream asked me if I'd watched the Magic Christmas Tree, and I didn't. So I watched it. It's on YouTube. All I can say about the Magic Christmas Tree, it's still up there if anybody wants to watch it, is it makes the movie Santa Claus and the movie Santa Claus Conquers the Martians seem like little masterpieces.
Oh, you know what, Tim? I don't think you understood it. Just kidding.
No, I understood it. You'd have to be about 6 months old not to understand it. It's just It's got about. I don't think they spent 10 grand on this movie, to be honest.
And I've seen those
That's
other
in
movies.
1955 money or whenever this was made. It's under an hour. Thank goodness. At least it's not too long. But
year was that?
Not good. It might be the early 60s. It's between like 55 and 62. It's in that range somewhere.
I have this movie somewhere. I haven't been able to find it. I bought this movie to Christmas that almost wasn't.
I watched that.
Is that the one with Paul Tripp? I think it is.
I watched a movie that has been on Hallmark, but it's not a Hallmark movie. I want people to know that this movie actually played theatrically, and it's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and nobody talks about it. And it always makes me sad now because the star died. And it's a movie called One Christmas Eve with Anne Heche. And I just think this is one of the most charming, best Christmas movies, and nobody talks about it. And you never hear about it. And Heche.
Well, I mean, like you said, though, I mean, a lot of these movies they flop, right? And if they don't get a cult following on TV afterwards, then a lot of them just die by
the Hallmark
wayside.
Channel does show this from time to time, but like I said, they didn't make it. You can just look at it and tell it's not a Hallmark movie. It's got a budget, They're in real snow a lot of the time and stuff, But really quick, Anne Heche plays this fairly newly divorced woman, and she's got these 2 kids. And meanwhile, there's this guy that works in an office building. He's a security guard. And they're about to leave. It's Christmas Eve, and they go to leave, and there's a box on the front door of the apartment building, and it's got a puppy in it. And neither of these guys can take a puppy. They both live in apartments, and they're like, "What are we gonna do with it?" And the one guy, he's Hispanic. He's like, "Okay, I'll do something with the puppy. I'll figure it out." And he takes the puppy, and he goes driving through like this nice neighborhood. And he's looking for signs, a sled or, and he finds a sled in the yard, and he finds Anne Heche and her sister out front having a little playful snowball fight while the sister's leaving. And he's like, okay, this is the perfect place. So after she goes back in, he goes up, puts the puppy on the doorstep, rings the doorbell, goes running down the sidewalk, slips and falls on the sled and breaks his ankle. Anne Heche comes running out. The kids come running out, and mayhem ensues. The night just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. But yet, by the time it's over, they've all agreed this might be the best Christmas anybody's ever had. It's a really good, warm-hearted, nice Christmas movie. And you can see it on probably Tubi and Pluto right now, if anybody wants to watch it.
Was there any nudity?
No, there's no nudity.
There's no nudity. Well,
there's not much for that.
But it's if you like nice Christmas movies, this is like it's one of my favorites. It's my top 10 easily Christmas movies.
Oh wow, that high!
And nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it, and they should. And when Anne Heche died, I was really sad, mainly because I like this movie so much. Anyway, one more Christmas movie, and then just a couple other movies. I like this movie, but I don't know why. Another one nobody talks about ever.
Oh, wait a minute. There's another Great Rupert. Is that another name for that? I saw that. It's with a squirrel. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's with the squirrel.
Is there another name? I don't even know what it is.
It's got a different title, 2 titles.
And there's even a commentary, and they never mention it has another name in the commentary. The lead actress, she does a commentary. Like, she's got to be
Terry
really
Moore?
old.
Is that Terry Moore?
Terry Moore.
She was in Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah, she does a commentary for this thing.
But I'm thinking that's the same movie. It is about a squirrel, right?
Well, a squirrel plays a major part in it, but it's not about a squirrel. It's about her and
it's got to be the same
family.
movie.
It's about these 3 people. and they make
It's
a
called a
Christmas wish
Christmas
because they don't have a place to live. They're homeless. They're in a new city, and they con this guy into letting them live in this apartment that he just threw the last tenant out that couldn't pay the rent, and he can't pay the rent either. But he cons him into letting them stay there. And meanwhile, the squirrel, the guy that used to live there, has this trained squirrel, and he lets him go in the park, but the squirrel doesn't like it in the park and goes back home, and he collects his nuts in this attic. And meanwhile, the landlord bought this, he thought, worthless oil mine, and it's come in, and he's getting $1,500 a month in checks while this thing's coming in, and he tucks it in this hidey hole, which happens to be the squirrel's hiding place. And the woman's praying to God for help, and $1,500 comes raining down on her because the squirrel doesn't like it in his place because it's messy. And this happens every month, and this is the gist of the movie.
The Great Rupert.
So the movie came out as The Great Rupert in 1950.
Oh, did it?
Now here's the interesting thing. What you're holding in your hand, in 2003, 20th Century Fox and Legion Films revived the public domain film with a colorized special edition under the title A Christmas Wish for that release.
Wow. Well, yeah, it is colorized, but it's also black and white, of course.
Okay, so they got both versions.
But they got Terry Moore to do the commentary, and they never talked about
that's what it says here. Yeah. Well, because that person probably didn't know they were going to change the title.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up my review of that, which I did a long time ago. But
I don't know. But anyway, it's a good Christmas. It's not great or anything, but it's a good Christmas movie. You want to see something out of the way. It's a Okay, two more. I'll Cry Tomorrow. Susan Hayward. I thought I was going to hate this movie. I thought it was going to be a bad melodrama or anything. I thought this was great.
Right. Yeah.
Susan Hayward plays this actress who keeps getting shunned, and she turns to the bottle, and it destroys her. And I don't know if she won the Oscar. She was at least nominated.
No, she won for I Want to Live, I think.
Okay, but she was at least nominated, and she should have been. Yeah. She's really, really good in this. It's a typical melodrama about an actress who falls, but it's
based on a true story.
Yes,
based on a true story.
Yes. I was surprised. I didn't think I'd like this, and I really liked it a lot. So
hey. Before we forget, I found my Christmas Wish review from 2009. That's how I saw it. So it says, originally known as The Great Rupert, this is a charming tale about a talented squirrel who lives in the attic of a down-and-out family of struggling vaudevillians and who accidentally helps them gain wealth and prosperity during the Christmas season. Now, I couldn't talk like that. I can't talk like that. But when I'm writing, all the words come. That's how I am. I'm better at writing than I speak. Anyway, the vigorous, look, I have a word I came up with. The vigorous Jimmy Durante is a lot of fun to watch as the well-meaning father who sings. And he's got a couple of silly, so bad they're funny lines that made me laugh. Though it's too bad he wasn't given more. Terry Moore, Mighty Joe Young, is his young daughter who falls for Tom Drake from Meet Me in St. Louis. This is somewhat charming, if not great, a family film to watch for the holidays. There we go.
Yep. No, it's a good little film. And last but not least for me, I read the book I've seen the movie. I rewatched the movie, but I read the book, and it's a 600+ page book, and it's a book that anybody that likes movies, and I'm not kidding, should read. I read and then watched the movie that they made of the book. The Kid Stays in the Picture by Robert Evans.
The Kid Stays in the Picture.
I know Robert Evans. I know him.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic read. This is a fantastic read. It's better than the movie. I loved the movie when it came out. I've owned it for years, but I watched it again just last night after I finished the book. This book is fantastic. Anybody that loves movies should watch this book because it tells you more about what goes on in Hollywood than anything. And I love the way he writes. And everybody says he doesn't talk like he talks in the movie and like he writes. He kind of stumbles and stammers, and
that's like me. I just said.
And in the book, he writes like it's a film noir. He writes like Jim Thompson or David Goodis. You know, he writes like he's a film noir guy. So it's very interesting. The film is great. I mean, and if you don't know Robert Evans is the man that saved Paramount. They were going to sell it and put a cemetery there.
Yeah, producing Love Story, and then
he produced Love Story, and that saved the studio. And then he produced The Godfather. And he produced tons of other movies. Chinatown. And and what I like about it is he goes into everything, the good and the bad. You know, he doesn't just make, I'm great. You know, he tells you about his mistakes, his screw ups.
Oh yeah,
you know,
but his mistake was with Ally McGraw for one. I mean, he.
Oh yeah, he was married to Ally McGraw, and he mistakenly let her go, and that was the love of his life, and he got Coppola to film The Godfather, and then Coppola screened the movie, and this is just his story, but according to him, he hated it. He's like you shot a fantastic movie, but you left it on the cutting room floor. So he had him re-edit it, and he supervised the re-editing, and then of course he was banned from the set of the second one, and blah blah blah.
Second one, right?
But then, for some reason, when he's doing the Cotton Club, who does he get to direct it? Coppola. Knowing what he did to The Godfather, it's like,
right.
He doesn't. The guy didn't learn from his mistakes. It's a great movie.
All I know, there's been
great movie, great both.
There's been many a movie bonus feature that I've seen with him.
Yeah.
And he's always very, very interesting anytime he talks about movies.
Yeah, right. That's a great movie, but the movie just skims the surface of the book.
Book Paramount Plus, the streaming Paramount Plus, they did a great miniseries called The Offer, which is all about the making of The Godfather, and it's fantastic. And the guy that plays Robert Evans is spot on. The accent, the vocal, and everything.
Yeah.
He does a great job.
Yeah, so that's right. I've probably seen other things, but that's basically it.
So, did you know that producer Peter Jason revealed?
Yeah.
He said Bob Dylan did a table read for a Complete Unknown as himself.
I had heard that.
Why? I guess he's getting. He supposedly he liked the movie. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I heard he didn't like it at first, but then he thought about it and wound up really liking it.
Yeah, I remember True Lies. Heston was in it, but he has a small part. He started doing small parts after a while there. Yeah, like in Tombstone, he's into a Tombstone. Heston. I see some of those movies because he was in them, but there's a movie called Town and Country that he's in. That's pretty. Yeah. He's funny in that.
Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. And then, didn't he have a small part in the abomination of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes too?
Yeah. Played an ape.
Yeah,
and it's a very small part. Spirit of St. Louis is about the Charles Lindbergh flight in 27.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Right.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I haven't.
Yeah.
So I thought of another movie. It's okay.
No, I think he was a great actor. I think he played
was a great actor.
I think he played himself most of the time. I mean, when he got older, he changed. He changed his character a lot, but he was still playing the same character pretty much in every film. It was just a different character than when he was younger. But he still doesn't take away from his acting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put him in like a top 10 or top 20, but I do generally love his movies.
Yeah, James Stewart. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I like him in a bunch of things. I mean, how could you not like him? But I don't know. I know he's done other types of roles that I probably haven't seen yet, where he's a real SOB or something. But he always seems like the same type of guy to me in these movies. But then again, I haven't seen everything. He's a likable actor.
Is it The Far Country where he plays a rancher? And it's the Civil War. It's some movie like that. And he doesn't want to get involved. The North and the South are fighting basically on his property, and he refuses to get involved either way. And they drag his son off. He's got like a 16-year-old son, and they drag him off. One of the two sides drags him off to go fight the war. Well, guess what? Now Jimmy Stewart's involved. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. You don't expect it out of him. You know,
the revenge.
Like Jimmy Stewart to go, and he gets his son back. You know,
this time it's personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, so we're kind of caught up. Unless you guys got anything else. I'm trying to think. There must be other things. I watch all kinds of little things, but some of them aren't worth really bringing up, like TV.
I want to tell you, Joe, that I think I decided I'm going to get a 4K Blu-ray player. I decided I'm going to make the jump to 4K.
Now, is this going to include? But is this going to upgrade, like changing all your Blu-rays, or just whatever you get?
No. I'll still, mainly collect Blu-rays. It's just that now you're starting to see a lot of 4K with Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm going to kind of like how you saw Blu-ray with DVD. Now you're kind of seeing 4K with Blu-ray.
Yeah, like I always said, I wouldn't get into it till I'm forced into it. Meaning
right.
What that would mean for me is, let's say something like A Complete Unknown. Like very rarely is there a brand new movie that I want to get. But if I want to get, say, something like A Complete Unknown, and there ever gets to be a day where it's only 4K and there's no more Blu-ray of it,
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think 4K, to be honest, will ever outsell Blu-ray.
They said, I've heard that said about so many
Blu-ray
things.
will never sell DVD either.
Blu-ray won't outsell DVDs. Although it is catching up. It's about 50-50 these days.
But people keep telling me that there's still DVD. It's still the biggest.
Yeah.
But do you see DVDs coming? Like, is a complete unknown going to come out on DVD?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, they're still doing that. But the thing that's happening now that is pushing people into 4K that weren't like they just released that Frank Capra box set. And I think 9 of 4K. The 16 discs or something are in 4K. It's like that.
See, that's going to be a problem. I mean, enough really.
That's going to drive a lot of people to,
And then as price comes down too. I mean, I'm on Amazon looking at a lot of 4K players that are under $200. So.
Yeah.
You see 4K, 65-inch 4K TVs that you can get for between $300 and $400. So it's
even less. I mean, if you want to get something like an On or something, I saw a 65-inch TV at Walmart for I think $189 or something like that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Well, I'll see how that goes too. Like if I ever get into the the bigger place, and if I ever get a bigger TV, like when we were watching this King Kong thing and Jingle All the Way at a relative's house, they have I think it's 75-inch TV. Okay, and if it wound up being that Blu-rays didn't look good on there for some reason anymore or something, then I'd have to get it. But I'm not going to upgrade everything. Come on.
Blu-ray will always look fine. Yeah. And thank you, MC 1964. It was Shebadoa. Thank you.
Yeah. I will. Yeah, and when I do get the 4K player, I'm not going to go back and rebuy. I mean, I'm not going to buy Goodfellas and Clockwork Orange for a 7th time. All right, 6 times for both those films was good enough. Okay, so there's that.
Because I know I always get like my usual nasty self about it when I get like about this. because I remember people said, "Oh, I'm not gonna." This is going back. I'm not gonna replace all my vinyl onto CDs. They did. I'm not gonna replace all all my whatever on DVD, VHS. They did. I'm not gonna do. I had a friend that he said, "I'm never gonna." I love DVD. No way am I going to go into Blu-ray when the Blu-ray first came out. So I know what it's like, and I've said the same thing a lot of times.
Yep.
But now I just have the age thing and all that, and the money thing. And it's a little different now. I'm older, and I don't expect. I got DVDs I've never watched yet. I'm not going to buy them again. So. And I don't want. I don't want things to look too clear. I don't want to watch Star Trek and see where Spock's ears are made up and stuff. I don't want to see that.
For me, the best part, Blu-ray and 4K. What the best thing they've done is for black and white films. I think. There's been a lot of shitty transfers on DVD for black and white films, but I think Blu-ray and 4K have really enhanced.
Yeah, it's funny.
Those films.
Because you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, well, if a movie's black and white, DVD is all you need." I don't kind of agree with that.
No,
it's about the mastering. It's about
Steamboat Bill Jr. was one of the first Blu-rays I ever saw. Somebody lent it to me, a guy at work, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It's the film that made me want to get a Blu-ray. That made me glad I got a Blu-ray player, but made me glad I made me start.
But a Blu-ray's still gonna look good. I mean, if new ones they make, are they gonna bother making them look good if they have 4K? Is really where
they're still doing restorations. It's matter of fact, Vinegar Syndrome, the one that I showed you that released Looking for Mr. Goodyear. Or Goodbar or whatever. They just announced one of my favorite De Niro movies of his earlier period called Bang the Drum Slowly from 1973. And they talked about restoring, doing some restoration to that. So you're going to see like Criterion and Arrow and these smaller companies still do restorations to films. And that's where, unfortunately, we're going to have to buy. Unfortunately, we got to buy them from websites now, and Amazon. Unfortunately, since I haven't been here in like 6 weeks, I really wanted to talk about the whole situation with Target not selling physical media anymore.
Let's.
That's what I think you did a video about, Joe. It's funny because they went from one physical medium to extending another physical medium, which is books, which I don't understand why they expanded their book departments, which but don't get me wrong, I love books, I love physical books. But it's just funny that they demolished one physical medium and then expanded another one.
Yeah. I think they sell books, and I think they're probably, unfortunately, in America today, there are way less bookstores than there are record stores in America, which is probably why they did it.
Well, they always say that, they're stopping making certain Blu-ray players, I guess, but but 4K will still play the Blu-rays.
LG is stopping, but
yeah.
And they've gone back up in price too. They're not dirt cheap anymore. You used to be able to get a Blu-ray player dirt cheap.
They're rare now. Because they're rare now.
Well, remember, I bought a few Sonys for like $70. What are they, $70?
I think the cheapest one. I looked at Walmart the other day. I think the cheapest Blu-ray player at Walmart was like $70. I'm like, that's cheap. That was the cheapest.
That's. Wow. I don't know. I when they were about, I don't know if they were $60-$70 a few years ago. I did a video where I bought like 3 or 4, just to so I always have. I'm still on the one that I've been using, but I have like 3 sealed in a box. Actually, I think I bought my girlfriend once. I think we got 4 Blu-ray players unopened. That'll last us to the rest of our lives. But if there's still, the question is not that. The question is whether you can still play them on the television screens that TVs they make, and whether the cables are going to be good.
No, they're not changing any of that stuff. And there'll always be adapters, even if they did. There's so
there's nothing.
You could play anything. You could play,
8 tracks, 16 millimeter.
Yeah, you could play. You play a Betamax on a 4K television. You wouldn't want to, but you can.
No.
It's there's always an adapter. Should have learned that from the Christmas Story. There's always an adapter.
Yeah, I guess you got to see that a few hundred times.
Yeah.
The only part I liked was the Chinese restaurant scene at the end, which is, I won't go into too much detail, but
it's smiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, I guess it's when you grew up. But that's not when you grew up. Tim is the same age as me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's when you see it, I mean, I saw it probably in the mid 80s sometime for the first time. It wasn't that old. But nobody saw it at the theater. It was one of these bomb movies at the theater.
And then Ted Turner, or whoever it is, got obsessed with it and made it rammed it down everybody's throats, apparently, every year on a freaking loop for 24 hours or whatever it is.
Well, it's gotten to be a tradition now. So,
for me. No.
Yes.
What else we got
here? I own it, and I also will take part in the 24-hour loop as well sometimes.
Very. Yeah. So anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I watched a movie I forgot to talk about. I can talk about it for a minute. I just finished watching it and I forgot it. Really? I started my thing I'm going to do this year. And I'm going to try to watch at least 100 films that were put out by Something Weird Video.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
So they exploitation films, and I started at the end of my book. Because I've tried to do this before and I've failed. So the A's I've seen multiple times. So I started at the back of my book and I'm going forward. And I watched a movie called The Wrong Rut with a really cute girl in it. And she's just your typical 19-year-old girl. She has a little job and she lives with her parents still and blah, 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 blah. And she becomes obsessed with this musician. And of course, he's a piano player, and of course, he's not a nice guy, and doesn't want attachments, and blah blah blah, and leaves her. And he moves towns, and she goes to his town and finds him, and he doesn't really want anything to do with her, of course, and blah blah blah. And then, of course, she finds out she's with child. And this is a 40s film. This is a late 40s film. And
so no nudity then, huh?
No. And oh my goodness. So she winds up going to a clinic a hospital for unwed mothers and having the baby and gives it away. And she starts to lose her mind. She starts to go insane. She wants it back. Of course, she can't get it back. It's already adopted, blah, blah, blah. So she steals another woman's baby. But she doesn't do it on purpose. She literally is walking down the street and there's a baby carriage with a baby in it. And she hears it crying and she picks it up. And she's so out of it at this point. She literally just starts walking down the street with the baby when the mother comes out and calls a cop who's just down the street and she's in jail. But it has a happy ending, believe it or not. But the thing about it, and it's actually done well. It's actually filmed well. It's not an awful watch or anything. It's a pretty pleasant watch. But of course, in the middle of the movie, you have to cut for the birth of the baby scene. Wow. And it's a cesarean. And it's in color. It's like, oh, really?
That was excruciating.
Really? So this is the definition of an exploitation film right here. We're gonna have this nice film about this girl that reads the wrong life and blah blah blah. And then we're gonna put a black and white film, and then we're gonna put a color cesarean in the middle of it, and then we're gonna go
Probably
back to
to
the film.
discourage women from wanting to have sex.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, encourage anybody from. I mean, and they show the whole thing. I mean, they edit it quickly, but you see them cutting the stomach open and ripping the kid out.
Ripping the kid out.
Nah, it's not as bad as the movie Inside. I can tell you. Look it up a movie.
No, but it's real. It's real. I collect ephemera, and I've got one that's worse. I've got.
Well, that's probably why then it was. Why it was allowed in the movie then was because.
Well, yeah, no, they had to because it was educational. As long as it was educational,
yes.
There's this movie I forget what it's called, but it's an officer on patrol, and he's patrolling down this like rarely used road, and he comes across this station wagon, and inside the station wagon is a woman about to give birth to a baby. So the officer gets her in the back of the station wagon and delivers the baby. Now this is for real, okay? This is filmed on 8 or 16 millimeter tops. For real, this woman gives birth. Don't make me big, Joe. This woman gives birth in the back of a station wagon. It's like, I hope they paid you a lot. I mean, it's like, it's time, honey. Okay, we'll drive you off to the middle of nowhere now and have the birth. It's like. And then of course they tell you at the end that it wasn't really an officer, it was a doctor that delivered the baby. So what?
So buttons.
It's like, holy cow. Anyway.
There you go. Hey, look, Chauncey Phillips, I'm going to try to. I don't know how to get you back on the other channel. I'm trying to get you there. Make sure you come here if you can't go there. Anyway, it's getting like 90 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short. All right, guys. I'm glad we could all get together again. I'm glad everybody was here. We'll try to do it every Thursday. Whoever can make it. And that's it. So watch some movies out there, will you? And TV shows. By the way, when's the Odd Couple coming back? Yeah, an Odd Couple marathon, uncut. They're all uncut when they're on a marathon every year, unlike the DVDs or Blu-rays. But I guess this ain't happening. What will you buy in 4K?
And whatever tickles my fancy, I guess. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, they are expensive. They are more expensive. I mean, they're upwards between $40 and $50 for a 4K film. So, it has to be really special for me in order to get it. I'll show you an example of one film that I did buy from Kino because they just released. It's a 4K film called Bug. Directed by William Friedkin.
I see that.
But and I love this film. But the thing is, it's 4K first, then Blu-ray. So you can pre-order them on their website or even on Amazon. And then sometimes they'll cut you, like they'll take $5 or $10 off if you pre-order it. So. But yeah, I will probably watch this on, when I do get the 4K player, I probably will watch the 4K disc of this.
That's a way. I mean, I got to have the covers and everything, but that's a way to give other people free movies.
Yeah.
I'll take your Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I always thought of that, with the Blu-ray and DVD thing. I always thought, give DVD to somebody who wants it. But I like to have the artwork and stuff too.
Sure.
Tom, are you still the slip covers?
I decided I'm going to keep the slip covers.
Good, because I know somebody out there that's not happy about it.
Yeah, I did decide to keep the slip covers only for resaleability. If one day that I decide to, get rid of one of them, and they are more desirable when they have the original slipcover.
There you go. There you go. Good move. Good move. All right, boys. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Subscribe to the channel. I know you're all subscribed.